Everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you're not new. I hope that you are having an amazing day, whatever time you're watching this. I am going to be filming an exciting video. I'm going to be doing 5-star predictions. So, 5-star predictions, books that I think are going to be 5 stars. I've not read any of these books yet, but they're books that for whatever reason, I think that I'm going to love them. And the hope is that by the end of the year, I will have read all of these books and I can come on and make another video talking about if they were 5 stars and why or why not they were or were not 5 stars. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So the first book on this list is The Storyteller by Jodi Picoult. Now, the reason this is on this list is because I have yet to read a Jodi Picoult book that I haven't liked. I've loved every single one of her books. Almost every single one that I've read has been 5 stars, and I feel like this one is super special because I think it has like World War II, like maybe flashbacks all throughout it, which that to me is very appealing. I love a World War II story. There's something so heartbreaking and visceral about a World War II story that I can't escape. So this story tells the story of a woman, and she befriends this elderly man, and he comes to her with this secret and he asks her to help him with something. But this secret and this situation that he wants her to help her with is something that really like changes her as a person. Like she really has to think about it. And so that is kind of where the story goes. Like I said, I believe it's World War II. So I'm very, very interested in reading this one. And I definitely think that this one could be 5 stars. It has all of the makings of a 5-star from me. The next book that I believe will be 5 stars is Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy. And this one feels like it's going to be 5 stars for many reasons. First of all, the setting. I love a book that is like an isolated story. So this book takes place on a remote island that's like really easily stormy. Like there's storms a lot on this remote island right outside of Antarctica. So it's in this like desolate location, and that is really, really appealing to me. Also, I've heard nothing but amazing, amazing things about this book. So that really intrigues me. This story tells the story of a man and his 3 children, and they live on this island. And one day a woman washes up to shore, and she kind of changes everything, the dynamic of the island, and everything changes because of her arrival. And that is just very, very interesting to me. There seems like there's going to be a mystery. I love a story with a mystery in it. And so that is another reason why this one, I believe, could be 5 stars. The rest of the stories that I chose are all fantasy. I'm just realizing that, like looking at my stack. So the rest are fantasy. I love fantasy. I rate fantasy pretty high if I like it. So there's a lot of hope in this stack. So the first one is Heartstone by Elle Katherine White. And the reason why I believe this will be a 5-star is a couple things. The first one, this is a Pride and Prejudice reimagining. Pride and Prejudice is my all-time favorite book. It's my favorite movie. It's my favorite story. It's my favorite everything. I love everything Pride and Prejudice. So the fact that this is a Pride and Prejudice reimagining is really appealing to me. Secondly, there's dragons. I love dragons in books, so that is something that's super exciting. So apparently this book is about a woman who her family is kind of being like threatened by wyverns or wyverns. I don't actually know how to pronounce that. I pronounce it differently every time I read it. So that's that. And so she has to, I think, maybe team up with like a brooding Mr. Darcy type. So that is what this story is about. And she has a dragon, and all of that is just very appealing to me. So that's why I think this one will be 5 stars. The next book is another book that I've heard nothing but amazing things about, and that is Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. I've heard that this is like a cozy fantasy, which I'm really into recently. I just read The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst, and I absolutely loved that book. So this one is really appealing to me. This one is like a Regency era fairy story. What? Like that sounds so good. So I believe this story is about a woman who makes a deal and she gives up half of her soul. So she doesn't really understand like emotions, like social cues type of things. So she keeps getting into trouble. So she pairs up with this man, I believe, probably a fairy. And they are working together to break this curse that she's under. Or maybe she doesn't make a deal, maybe it is a curse. Yes, she was cursed by a fairy. And the man is not a fairy. See, sometimes I get these ideas in my head and I'm just like so sure that they're real and then they're totally not real. So she's cursed by a fairy, gives up half her soul. She can't tell like emotions or feelings or understand what's going on. She pairs up with this man. They are trying to break her curse, and that is the story that we're following. And I am so excited to jump into this one. This one, I just have really strong feelings that this one could be a 5-star. The next book is Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher, and I'm really upset because I bought this book and then they changed the covers and I love the new covers, so I might have to do a little bit of finagling and sell this one and get the new ones because I just think the new ones are so stunning. I think this one is pretty too, but I'm really into the new covers. I don't know. So this story follows a man who is a paladin, and I believe his god dies. And so he's kind of feeling lost. And then he meets this woman named Grace, and he witnesses like an assassination attempt. And so the two of them kind of have to navigate through, I think they're like being chased by a killer, so on and so forth. It seems really, really interesting, and I want to read this book as well as the rest of the series, and I just have a feeling that this is going to be a 5-star book. The reason why is because I love T. Kingfisher. I have yet to read a T. Kingfisher book that I haven't loved, so that's why I'm hopeful. Plus, I do love like a good, I guess like a hunt type of story where they're like going around and trying to escape from different things. I kind of love that vibe in a fantasy book. So that is why I believe that I will love Paladin's Grace. The next book I think that I will like for a lot of similar reasons that I think that I'll like Paladin's Grace, and that book is The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reid. Another big draw to this is that Ava Reid is the author. I love Ava Reid. I have loved the books that I've read by her, and so this one I have a feeling will be no different. This one follows a woodsman and a woman, and I believe that they're also kind of like on the run type of situation, and that is just so appealing to me. So that is why I think that The Wolf and the Woodsman will be 5 stars. The next book kind of also has a similar reason, and it has to do with the author. That is The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Katherine Arden. I don't know why I'm pointing down here. It says Katherine Arden up here. This just says international bestseller. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, that's besides the point. Katherine Arden wrote the oh my gosh, The Bear and the Nightingale. And I loved the atmosphere of The Bear and the Nightingale. This one seems like it's going to be very different from that, but I'm still super intrigued just because of how much I liked The Bear and the Nightingale. So this book is a like historical fantasy, which I feel like I haven't read that many historical fantasies. So this one follows a main character during World War I. And so we see her all throughout World War I, kind of dealing with the repercussions of war. I believe that she is a nurse. Yeah, she's a nurse. And she discovers that her brother was, that died in combat. And then a little bit later, she finds out that he might have just actually escaped. So he's basically like missing in action. And also, obviously, there is the supernatural effect of this book in that there are ghosts. So I am excited to see what this book is about, what all it entails. I love a historical book. I love a fantasy. I love a ghost story. So that one is just very appealing to me, and I have a feeling that this one is going to be a 5-star read for me. The next one, again, is a repeat author, and that is The Amalfi Coast by Sarah Penner. I loved The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner, and so I just have really high hopes for this one. This one follows a woman who is on the hunt for buried treasure, I think. Like, her father has like a sunken treasure. So she goes on this hunt, and it also says there's forbidden love, there's powerful witchcraft and a curse. Like all of that just seems very, very appealing to me. I love books that take place kind of like on the ocean, and this is like having to do with like shipwrecks and everything. Like that just sounds so, so, so good to me. Plus, not to mention, I think this is the most beautiful book that I own. Like it is stunningly gorgeous. Like I am obsessed with the sprayed edges, the gold foiling, like everything about this is super visually appealing. So maybe the book will also be really appealing to me, and that is why this one is a 5-star prediction. So the next book is a book that I've heard really, really good things about, but I've also heard some negative things about, but I have a feeling that I am going to love it. This book was one of the books that was on my most intimidating books list because it's really intimidating, but I feel like it's either going to be 5 stars, maybe 6 stars, or I'm not going to love it at all, but I'm hopeful that it's a 5-star book, and that is The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. This book follows this woman who gets a book, and in this book it turns into like portals to like different times and different places, and so she's kind of going on this like journey all throughout all of these different doors, and I believe she's going with her friend, and they're trying to discover like this hidden place. The reason why I think I'm going to love this book so much is because it compares it to The Midnight Library, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and The Night Circus, and I loved every single one of those books. So if it's anything like those books, I have a feeling that this one is going to be 5 stars, 6 stars. This is just going to change my life, or it's going to destroy it. Who really knows where the future leads? And the final book on this list is Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. Just like Heartstone, this is a story about dragons, and I love a dragon story. I've also heard really, really good things about this book. It's really intriguing to me. It follows our main character who is kind of going on like a revenge mission against her father, who kept her imprisoned and took her dragons away from her. And so that just sounds so good. I love a good revenge story. So I am super excited to get into this one and just kind of uncover this mystery and see what happens to her as I read. And with that being said, those are the 10 books that I think are going to be 5 stars. I have really high hopes for them, and I hope that you will follow along as I read them and see if these books are 5 stars like I believe that they're going to be, and I'm really hopeful that they will be. Anyway, I hope that you found something new to read, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye!